haven't met yet of the day.
Say that.
Now, if I can hear what God thinks about me and then crawl back in the bed,
All right.
I can be fine. If I can know what God thinks about me and just stay locked in one room, I can be fine. Why? Because I'm left with only just the thought that God shared with me, and they were good.
Yeah.
But guess what? When I open up the door, guess what? I'm now going to be faced with ideas of other things. I wish I had. See, and then what Satan wants me to do is say, God, if this is what you think about me, why did you let this idea come my way? Why did you let this idea come my way? Are y'all in here?
Yeah.
Listen, there can never be the peace about life. I want y'all to pay attention to this, if you will. There can never be the peace about life if there is not found the peace one needs with their own self. Are y'all in here?
Yes, sir.
I had to go back and look at what was the actual plan for 2017. Did you not know the message? And I think I said it during intercessory prayer, or one time I said, here's the thing it is. If we don't marry to the message at its beginning that starts this new year off, everything else God has to say is going to become irrelevant. If I can't believe what God is saying at the beginning, because everything he says from that point on is what? Connecting itself to support what he said at first. So I had to go back and look at what was the actual plan for 2017. The message, the peace about joy and happiness, was actually a plan. Sister Clark, we look at messages as just words tossed around. It's a plan.
Yes, it
It's
is.
a,
Yes, it is.
meaningful conversations that we have with people is a plan.
All right.
Conversations that builds people's lives, change people's lives, redirects people's lives, gives hope to people's lives. It's a plan. If you mean what you're saying,
Say that. All right.
and you want it to have impact on people,
All right.
it's a plan.
Amen.
It's a plan.
I don't care if it's a discussion you have with your children. Here's what I want y'all to do. Why? Why do you want us to do it? It's a plan. Why? Because you're looking for what? Good results.
Good results.
I want good results.
Very good.
And what I'm trying to do is tell you before you're introduced to everything else that's going to try to what? Distract you. Because everybody don't have your interests at home.
All right.
Amen.
All right.
That is true.
The message, January 1st, 2017, was God trying to say, everyone don't have your interests at heart, so let me be the first word you hear.
All right.
There it is.
Amen.
Let me be the conversation that you build on from this point on.
Yeah.
I wish that.
Amen.
Amen. Amen.
But just like kids who we instruct, whether it's in the house, in the car, that we're trying to tell them, this is what you need to do to avoid this. This is what you need to do to have a good outcome concerning this. This is what you need to do in order to get past this situation. And they don't listen. And they don't listen.
No.
Which means they pay attention to a conversation that they feel is more important than yours.
All right.
Say that.
And then later on, they have to come back and apologize to you and say, you know what? I see what you're talking about. Well, you've seen it too late.
That's right.
Hello.
You've seen it too late. Because had you paid attention to what I said,
Come on now.
you wouldn't be getting out of the mess that you're in. And here, by the way, when you get out of this mess, you still got to go back and fix what I was talking about in the first place. I wish I had somebody.
Yeah. Go ahead.
So you just add it to your.
Misery.
That's it.
Lord Jesus, help us.
Have you ever told someone that you had interest in, someone that you really cared about, had you listened to me, we wouldn't be.
Going through this.
And now it's a we thing because why?
Cause now
I'm not going to see you have to struggle.
by yourself.
Right.
Now you have to tie up my time in something that you shouldn't have been involved with in the first place. I wish that.
That's right.
Look at somebody and say, don't get caught in the trap.
Don't get caught in the trap.
No. I had to go back. Hear me? I had to go back, Yvette, and look at what was the actual plan for 2017. The boardroom discussion, Daphne. The restructuring, Sister Claude. The approach, Sharita. That's what 2017 message, starting January the 1st, was God actually saying we have convened from, we're out of the boardroom, and now we're ready to lay out the Father, the Son, and the Holy Spirit.
All right.
See, Father Creator, Son Word, and Holy Spirit power had a discussion about what do we need to do for Sharita's life, 2017. What do we need to do for Deepru's life, 2017? What do we need to do for Nathaniel's life, 2017? What do we need to do? And so once we come up with a plan, let's share our thoughts.
Right.
Let's share our thoughts.
Yeah.
Are y'all in here? Yeah. Here was the discussion, the reconstruction, the approach on how to proceed into 2017 to build on the pillars of success. And it all started with, notice what it all started with. Notice it all started with. And I want you to really get this. It all started with the peace. When Satan heard peace, he went into attack mode.
My Lord. Amen.
Because he was reminded of, that's what Adam and God had at the beginning. And as long as they were able to commune with each other, they were able to name stuff.
All right.
God created, and he gave Adam the ability to name. Which means only two people owned what was going to happen.
All right.
And Satan said, I felt left out. Have you ever had somebody that wants to be a party of the conversation when it's A and B?
All right.
Come on. Have you ever had to tell somebody, wait a minute, hold on, wait a minute. Who invited you? Some of us will jokingly throw it off and say, grown people are talking.
Yeah.
It didn't matter about them being 55. You ain't part of this conversation.
That's right.
Back in the day, we used to say A and B conversation, see your way out. In other words, it's people have a tendency of wanting to be a part of a conversation that ain't meant for them.
That's right. That's right.
Are y'all in here?
Yeah.
And so Satan heard, Evelyn, God mention one word that was very powerful. Peace. The peace he knew that if this conversation continues to be just two people, they will accomplish what they're setting out to do. Here the thing it is. And I have no problem with one because they're going to stay their part.
Right.
Have you ever found somebody who you know going to be true to the conversation?
See.
You know you're going to be true to it because you already vowed this is just between me and Sheila. You committed to that. The problem is whether Sheila will hold up her end and leave other people out. Satan knows that this conversation about peace,
All right.
God ain't going to divulge it
All right.
with any and everybody else that is not a part. He knows how to maintain peace no matter how things look.
All right.
But do you? The other part of the conversation. Are y'all hearing me? Notice what he says. And I know I'm talking to some folks in here that, you know, pretty well in that place of peace. But let me just reiterate. Let me reiterate the fact that we have to go back to the beginning, the discussion. Go back to the beginning, the discussion. God told me, he says, go back and look at what was actually the plan for here is the actual plan for 2017. You may want it, but does Sister Clark want it? You may want it, but does Norma want it? You may want it, but does Evelyn want it? You may want it, but does Nathaniel want it? You may want it, but does Sharia want it? Here's the thing it is, you are talking about something that you want to own. But that doesn't mean that who you're talking to wants to own it with you.
That's right. Right.
Y'all better stay with me.
Amen.
See, if we've had those conversations where people say, now I'm going to share this with you. And it's just between me and you. I don't want to hear no more about it. And I don't want to hear it coming from.
Nobody else.
See, you want to own it with just the person you're sharing it with. The problem is whether they share those same sentiments.
All right.
Because a week later you hear what was said in private coming from somebody who wasn't in the room.
All right.
Wish I had
All right.
somebody in the room. Understand? So here, the piece about joy and happiness, and notice the second part of the message, Janice, was people who make the best of what they have.
All right.
We left that part out. See, the message was the piece about joy and happiness and people who make the best. In other words, God says, I'm speaking to people who have to have peace about joy and happiness, but don't have much to work with.
All right. Wow. Help me, God.
They ain't going to have much to work with, but they got to be satisfied with it so as not to let even it get away.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, even the letter to the 7 churches in Revelation, the Lord spoke of the fact that, you know, one of the churches, he said, you have a little strength. In other words, you ain't a bulging giant, but you do have strength enough to be able to survive through this, what you're going through. Are y'all in here?
Amen.
Key is peace, Yvette. Somebody shout peace.
Peace.
Now, hear what peace is. Hear what peace is. To use a word, understand the word. Peace is the reality of where you are at and decide for a calm.